I, therefore, the prisoner in the Lord, beg you to lead a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, making every effort to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in all. This is the word of God.
Thanks be to God.
To live a life worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Don't be shy. Oh, hello. This is Lonnie's boyfriend.
I don't date boyfriend.
That's what happens when you come late to church. I'm just kidding. So we're going to start this week. This is our penultimate Grace and Reconciliation study, our second to last. As we are in the 5th Sunday of Lent now. So we're going to start like we have every week with our group norms that are on the back wall there in the same place. We are going to agree to listen to each other, to really try to understand where people are coming from and what they're saying, instead of thinking in our head how we think they're wrong or what we're going to say next. We're going to just listen. We're going to speak in terms of I think, I feel, in my experience, this has happened. We're going to assume confidentiality. If someone tells you something personal, please don't tell other people without asking them first if it's okay. We'll assume that everybody has good intentions. I think that's a pretty safe assumption in this group. If you're offended by something you hear, say, ouch. And that gives us time to finish whatever was happening. Then we can go back to you and say, what hurts you about that? Help us to understand, because we want to be better at being a community. So we need to know when something hurts and how we can help to make it better. Speak loudly, or please, if you cannot hear, do something, anything, just let us know that you can't hear. If we don't know you can't hear, we don't know to speak louder, okay? And the last one, hold back or step up. If you're somebody who thinks immediately out loud, if you know what you're going to say, if you're an extrovert, if you grew up in a school where you got points for participating, you may be more likely to speak right away. And I'm asking you, hold back a little bit. On the other side, if you're somebody who has to think a little bit longer before the words come out, if you're somebody who's an introvert, if you were raised in a school where you were supposed to be seen and not heard, step it up a little bit. We need to hear from you, okay? Any other things that we need to agree to as a group? Anything we need to add or change in that list? Okay, then as every week so far, I will take the lack of reaction as consensus, and we will move forward. We have a lot to talk about today on our second to last Sunday. Can people help pass out the folders? Some have names on them. Can we deliver those to the right people? And some do not have names. I see Linda and Bridget going, awesome. We are going to talk a little bit more today about the Confession of Belhar. You remember we talked about it last week, about its formation. Is there something that stuck with you last week about it, or anything that we talked about that you remembered?
The ridiculous relationships between the various branches of the Dutch Reformed Church.
Uh-huh. The ways in which we can divide ourselves are so many. Jen?
What struck me is that even after apartheid had politically ended, the divisions in the church have not.
So the church is really good at making divisions and at keeping it. Not great. All right. Folders continue to be passed out. The Confession of Belhar is the green one, so when you get your folder, open it up to that green one. remember when we talked about the Confession of 1967, we talked about the major areas that it covered. It's on the wall over behind Bob and Dave. Racism, war, and poverty. Remember that conversation we had? If we were to say the same thing about Belhard, its main topics are unity, reconciliation, and justice. We may need to do some folder sharing. That's okay. So we'll need to be a little generous in sharing. Anybody not have your copy of the favorite seat? You can borrow somebody else's. All right. So we're going to look at that green section. Unity, reconciliation, and justice. So let's just start off. We talked a lot about reconciliation many times, so we're going to focus today on the part on unity, and then last the part on justice. So we're going to start in section 2. And will somebody read that first bullet point under the second we believe there? So number 2 we believe, go down to the next we believe, and there's a bullet point. Will somebody just read that one?
We believe that unity is therefore both a gift and an obligation for the Church of Jesus Christ, that through the working of God's Spirit, it is a binding force. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. We believe that Christ's work of reconciliation is made manifest in the Church as the community of believers who have been reconciled with God and with one another.
Yeah. So what we're going to try to do is summarize each one of these bullet points in one word. So if you had to summarize that first bullet point in one word, does everybody know where we are? Can you help your neighbor? Good? Okay. If you had to summarize, what does that point have to say about unity in one word?
We're all together.
We're all together. Cool. Others?
Oneness.
Oneness. And there's a very important word that we've been talking about a lot.
Reconcile.
Reconciliation. Thank you. Good. Who could read the second one for us? Second bullet point.
That unity is therefore both a gift and an obligation for the Church of Jesus Christ, that through the working of God's Spirit it is a binding force, yet simultaneously a reality which must be earnestly pursued and sought, one which the people of God must continually build up to attain.
What is there a word or two in there you would pick out? There's a really interesting phrase at the beginning there. Gift. Gift and what? Anybody have any idea? What does that mean?
Well, we don't seem to have it naturally, so maybe it's good that we get the gift.
Not only do you receive it, you have to perpetrate it.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool. Will somebody read the third bullet point? This is a long one, so if you need to tag out, you can. Pat, you want to go? Yeah. Thank you.
That this unity must become visible so that the work may believe that separation, enmity.
That's so hard.
Enmity, thank you, and hatred between people and groups is sin, which Christ has already conquered. And accordingly, that anything which threatens this unity may have no place in the church and must be resisted.
What's a word or two that you would use, that you would pick out of there, that you would use to summarize?
Become visible.
Visible. having flashbacks to like 8th grade English class when you had to summarize.
Trying to go back, you have to go back.
That's good. It's so good. We're waiting for those step up people to step up. You know who you are. All right, let's go on now. I'm sorry, this is the long one, number 4. Good.
That this unity of the people of God must be manifested and be active in a variety of ways, and that we love one another, that we experience, practice, and pursue community with one another, that we are obligated to give ourselves willingly and joyfully to the benefit and blessing to one another, that we share one faith, have one calling, are of one soul and one mind, have one God and Father, are filled with one Spirit, are baptized with one baptism, eat of one bread and drink of one cup, confess one name, are obedient to one Lord, work for one cause, and share one hope. Together come to know the height and breadth and depth of the love of Christ. Together are built up to the stature of Christ, to the new humanity. Together know and bear one another's burdens, thereby fulfilling the law of Christ, that we need one another and uphold one another, admonishing and comforting one another, that we suffer with one another for the sake of righteousness, pray together serve God in this world, and together fight against all which may threaten or hinder this unity.
What's one word or 2 words you would pull out of that, or that you would use
One.
to summarize?
One.
One. What else?
Together.
Together. I heard something over here. Oh, same thing. Love.
I underline manifested, but I don't know why now.
Manifested, or perhaps active.
Yeah, be active, yeah.
That these are ways that our unity is shown, right? One column. Would someone read the next one for us? Somebody at the back, maybe? Judy.
That this unity can be established only in freedom and not under constraint, that the variety of spiritual gifts, opportunities, backgrounds, convictions, as well as the various languages and cultures, are by virtue of the reconciliation in Christ, opportunities for mutual service and enrichment in the one visible people of God.
What word would you pull out of this one?
Freedom.
Freedom. Anything else?
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Nice. Will somebody read the last one?
We believe that true faith in Jesus Christ is the only condition for membership of this church.
Summary? Faith? So as we talked about last week, when the Confession of Belvoir was first written, it was sometimes contentious. Some people were afraid about saying the things that it said. So the time it was written, what do you think was unpopular or surprising about these ideas?
Wait.
John? Sorry.
Unpopular. Freedom.
Say more about that.
That freedom is a choice, that you can, freedom means choices, that you can enter into something freely, meaning you cannot dictate to somebody else what that would look like.
Yeah.
And I think during apartheid, freedom, or the ability to dictate your own choices for yourself as you see fit, was not something that was experienced by all people.
Scott?
I guess, you know, in reading through this stuff, I think, in my own mind, thinking, oh, I believe apartheid was. what this states is so polar opposite of what was happening or what had happened at that point. This wasn't like, okay, let's go a little bit away from what apartheid was and, be a little bit comfortable. They went completely 180 degrees and said, we're going to totally, push that aside, and this is what we're going to do.
So in our own U.S. American history, we had this great lie called separate but equal. You remember that? And the idea was that we could all be unified if people would just go to the places where they belong, right? If the people on the borderlands stay there and don't disturb anything, we could be unified, right? Right? Yeah, you should be, you students writing this are very sweet. If you belong over there, why are you causing trouble, right? Because what they were suggesting was a unity that threw this whole thing out the window, which is very threatening, right, to people who have power. Sometimes we hear about unity in Christian churches. We've been talking about reconciliation in terms of race, sexuality, gender. We've been talking about a lot of things. And there are churches who would say to us, for the sake of unity, please do not disturb these things, right? Am I right? We have churches leaving our presbytery because they would rather not disturb these systems. So it's threatening then and it's threatening now, but it's not real unity, it's not real oneness, it's not real reconciliation unless we're paying attention to how power is working, to who has freedom to make choices, to who's being left out. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to go on a little bit and talk about justice. Remember we said Belhar is about unity, reconciliation, and justice. So if you would turn with me to number 4, that starts at the very bottom of the back of that page. And here's what we're going to do. On every table, there is a white sheet of paper that has Jesus in the middle. In your table groups, you have 5 minutes. Read through section 4 together and write down who are the people who Jesus is standing with, according to this confession. Who stands with Jesus? And you might even, if you want to place some people close to Jesus, some people far from Jesus, but based on what you read here, who stands with Jesus? Clear? Make sense? Everybody's reading. Yeah. Read again. Section 4. You can read together at the table, or you can read here. We'll read it. Turn around back. We believe that God has revealed himself as the one who wishes to bring about justice and true peace among people.
You guys want to read it all aloud?
The world is full of justice.
And then John and
Is in a special way that God that God
Yeah, I'll read it. Number 4, we believe that God has revealed himself as the one who wishes to bring justice
that
and
God
true peace among
frees the
us.
prisoner and restores
That
them.
God, in a world full of injustice and enmity,
That God
is in
supports
a
the
special way
young,
the God of the destitute,
protects
the
the
poor,
stranger,
and the wrong.
helps orphans
That
and
God
widows,
calls the church to
and
follow.
walks the path
For
of
God
the
brings
unjust.
justice to the oppressed and gives bread to the
That for
hungry.
God pure and
That God frees
undefiled
the prisoner
religion,
and restores
the
sight to the blind.
and the
That
widows,
God supports the downtrodden,
that
protects
God
the
wishes to
stranger,
teach the
helps
church to do
orphans
his
and
good,
widows, and blocks the path of the ungodly. That
that
for
the
God,
church was
pure and
there to stand by
undefiled religion
people
is to
in any
visit the
form of
orphans
suffering,
and the widows in their suffering.
which implies
That
a
God
limitation
wishes to teach the
that the
church
church
to do
must
what is
witness
good and to
against
seek the right.
and strive
That the church
against
must therefore stand by people in any form of suffering and need, which implies, among other things, that the church must witness against and strive against any form of injustice, so that justice may roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. That the church, as a possession of God, must stand where the Lord stands, mainly against injustice and against the law. That in following Christ, the church must witness against all who are powerful and privilege, of selfishness, of their own interests, and thus control the public.
What's the question?
So who are the people who
Jesus stands for.
yeah.
And any darkness which has come
I underline it such as very destitute, that Jesus stands for.
I'm sure they did a great
No, just everywhere. It's just everywhere, right? It doesn't follow a particular
That have been denied immigrants back into the country that have lived in this country for, you know, the people who, you know, they knock on your door and say, you're going to be deported now.
It's not nobody knows. This lady has been married to for 17 years. She went to something. I don't know why she hasn't had the passport. But then I this
They put her in jail. You must be
they have a lot of people in our community that
All right, time is up. Would you send someone from your group to come put your poster on the wall over here, please?
I vote for you.
I vote for you.
Save that, Will. Can you say that in about 2 minutes? So, Will you make it for everyone?
What?
Will you say what you just told me?
Well, so now literally we have the picture of the center and the borderlands, and all the people we just wrote are literally in the borderlands over there.
Sometimes it happens that someone gets right to the point. It's so good. Yeah, what do you notice? What else do you notice about these? Jesus can go upside down. Jesus is very flexible. He will go where he needs to go to find us. Even if it's upside down. What do you notice about the things that
Jesus people can be of many colors.
Jesus people can be that's metaphorical. That's nice. Nice.
One of the things I noticed is Jesus stands up on every one of the posters.
Nice. He's got the privilege of the very dark marker. He's the center.
But we're on the borderlands. Jesus is in the center.
And Jesus is the center. So as Bill said, these people who Jesus stands with are the people we've been talking about being in the borderlands, right? So this is not a new idea, it turns out. Around the same time as students in South Africa were writing the Confession of Belhar, Jesuit priests in Latin America were talking about liberation theology. So these, Belhar and Latin America, both would be borderlands places in our global community, right? If U.S. America is in the center, Latin America, Africa often are in the borderlands. And from the borderlands are coming these ideas about the people in the borderlands. Liberation theologians call this God's preferential option for the poor. How does this news that the people in the borderlands are the closest to Jesus, how does that news sound to people who are on the outside?
Threatening.
On the outside.
Oh, on the outside. All right, inclusive.
Inclusive. Encouraging.
Welcoming.
Welcoming.
Comforting.
Comforting.
Hope.
Hopeful.
Okay.
Don't cry? Yes. Amen. Jesus is with you. Don't cry. Is it empowering?
Yes.
At all? I'm sorry, somebody.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's like, okay, if Jesus is there with me, why is it so bad?
Yeah. Let me introduce you to human systems of sin that organize our world, right? So the words that we just used for the outsiders, people from the borderland, sound a lot like those words we used for the insiders on the first day. When you hear God has a preferential option for the poor, if you are on the inside, if you're in the center, how do you feel? Like an outsider. Somebody said threatening.
Scared the living daylights out of John Paul II.
Right, there it is. Scared.
Excluded.
Excluded. We can only understand this, God's preferential option for the poor, in terms of the unjust society in which we live, right? Because God's real preference is for what? What did we read in those very first sentences of the Confession of Belhar? Reconciliation? Unity. So God's real desire is that we scrap this whole thing. But since we have not agreed to do that, God takes a side. For those of us who find ourselves more often on the borderlands, this is fantastic news, right? For those of us who find ourselves more often in the center, don't really know what to do with that, huh?
Yes, we do.
anybody, Sue said really quickly, no, she doesn't feel threatened. Is this threatening to anybody? If I tell you God is a preferential option for the poor? It's threatening to me, I'll tell you. Anybody? Want to say how it makes you feel, Sadie?
Well, there's people that need the most help. Why
There's
should
people
we
who need the most
feel
help.
threatened? That's going to help us need it, but if they need more help, then why shouldn't we want them to get help?
Awesome. Good, yeah.
Well, I can answer that. It's because if you're in the middle and you have the money and the borderland people need money, where do you think they're going to get the money from? Your pockets.
But those are non-believers. If you are a believer, then
You're already giving.
you're already giving, you're already opening doors, so why do you feel threatened?
Yeah, but there's some rich people that claim that they're believers, isn't there? They're not necessarily sharing.
And I'm just thinking of something my dad said, when you point a finger at saying, you rich man,
Yeah.
your finger's pointing back at
So
you saying, am I giving enough? Am I
Here's a small
opening the doors
example.
enough?
Here's a small example, and that's it. Well, whatever. This is so political. The gospel is political, yes?
Yes.
There are some people who say Black Lives Matter. And there are some people who find that to be threatening, to be distasteful, to be unfair. How can you help me think about that in terms of this?
I'm not sure what you said there.
So we live, let me try again. We live in a culture, what's in the center? What did we say is in the center?
Bob and I.
Bob and Dave. Dave, you're a little bit towards
Yeah, a little bit.
I know, you're a little bit up. So whiteness is in the center.
Education.
Money,
Economy,
able
yeah.
bodies, education, all these things. So if whiteness is in the center, that means what is in the borderland?
Everything else.
Blackness. So what is that, if you're a black person in our country, what kind of message do you receive about how much your life matters? Not a lot. Not a lot. Can you, I mean, not if you're uncomfortable, but can you share with us an example of something that has happened that has made you feel that way?
Anyway, I shared it last week.
Yeah.
I shared it in my group last week. I'm a visiting nurse. I've been doing this like for more than a year now. So I went to visit a patient that I've been seeing for the past 3 months, obviously in January. And then I was talking to him, and then he turned around and he said to me, if you can't speak English, you can't speak American or English, you can't live here, you need to leave. Like, you know.
So Caroline was just told by someone whose home she came to in order to care for them.
Yeah.
Okay. That she needed to leave here if she couldn't speak American English.
Funny, your English sounds fine to me.
No, that's just like you. That's how some people feel. That's how some people. There are people that have said to me, there's a doctor that said to me, you have a thick accent. That's how people feel.
We'll teach you
Everybody
American.
has an accent. I
We're going to teach you American.
don't want to learn American.
And see how we're all like jumping in and we're all laughing because this makes us very uncomfortable, right? Because we don't want this to be the case here. It's not the case here, maybe, but this is real in Caroline's life and the lives of the people of color in this room.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me uncomfortable, it makes me angry.
Why did they wait 3 months?
Then I'm still seeing him, and I still speak the same English, and he still understands. And if he doesn't understand, I told him I do not go to the education. It's not for free. Like they feel that every African or black person or whatever that comes to this country gets things for free. I went to school for it.
And you paid a lot more.
And I paid a lot of money for it. And I worked very hard to get it. And I'm not gonna change the way I talk. I'm never gonna talk like an American. Priestley, Ryan, all the rest, they can talk like Americans. I'm not gonna change. So you have to either deal with it or like. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to, but if you don't, you are paying the price.
Of course,
Yeah,
number
yeah.
change.
Bob,
But she
you
is
want to
paying
finish?
the price just by being black.
Yes,
And that's
exactly.
what makes it wrong.
Yes, it is. Amen, sister.
So now I'm going to give you the complete opposite. My car was in an accident last week. Pulled over to the side of the road.
Oh, no, not the band.
The police came up.
Oh, no.
Are you all right? You okay? Let me see your license, registration. We'll call the tow truck. If you want to wait at the police station till you get your ride, but there's a Dunkin' Donuts there. If you'd rather. But there was never, and this, to be very honest, this is going through my head as this is going on, that there was never a question in my mind that all they were going to do was call the tow truck. There wasn't anything else that was going to happen. And it was going through my head that, yes, this is the center.
Yeah.
I had no, thank you very much, polite, no problem, everything was fine.
And get a Dunkin' Donut.
So when we hear these stories and we say, oh, you guys, all lives matter, what we're doing is preserving this. When we hear these stories and we say, Black lives matter, we are interrupting this. Because this system says white lives matter very much, thank you, very much. And if we say something counter to that, we're disrupting the system. But that is threatening because I benefit from this system. Like Bob, I benefit. I am not afraid when the police pulls me over when I get in an accident. I am not ever concerned anyone's going to critique my accent. I am not ever concerned someone's going to assume I've stolen in the shop because of the color of my skin. And those are privileges that I enjoy. So as much as we want to say, no, we're going to give and be open, it's really hard when it comes down to it because there are a lot of foundational parts of our society and the way we live we're going to have to give up. Is there anybody, quickly before we end, any other examples? Are there any examples of how, especially people with privilege in the center, could use it to disrupt this and to align ourselves with people in the borderlands? And I am thinking of one example from our own church that happened last week.
Oh, yes.
Scott Dickinson. Do you want to tell us that story?
You can tell it.
No, I would like for you to.
Okay, I don't know, a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I approached Meagan about what she thought about if we put the, whatever the right term for it is, the rainbow indicator, the LGBTQ, in front of our church. And I had honestly been looking to try to find where one was ready-made and purchased, because, and I drive by 4 churches every day that display this, so I gave the names of the churches to Meagan, and she called, and the response from the one church she was able to contact was, oh, we made it. I'm like, okay, so we'll make it. So I made one, and I showed it to Meagan, and she said, will you put it up? So I put it up last Sunday, and then you have to pick up the rest of the story because it involves you.
So I received an email this week, headline rainbow sign. Dear Pastor, I just saw your rainbow sign. It's really there, isn't it? My wife and I have lived in Clinton for so long. This is the first open and affirming church that we have seen in our town where we think we would be safe. Signed, nicely, who lives in our town. Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot, so don't if you don't want to. But Dave,
Who, me?
would you say? Oh, I just heard that you and Scott had a moment when the sign was up. What does it mean to you?
Well, in case you all don't know, I'm gay. Now, let me give you a little history lesson about being on the border and being in the centers. I just came back for today from a reunion from my second submarine, the USS Will Rogers, all right? I was 10 years into my Navy career when I got kicked out of the United States Navy because I was gay. All right? I don't know if any of you do that. And oh, by the way, in this denomination, I was denied the opportunity to serve as an elder for many years because of the rules written in this denomination. And the first time I was asked, I had to refuse because it would have caused one heck of a stir. So, I'm also, by the way, the first, I don't know what the heck the word means, openly gay elder to be ordained in the Boston Presbytery. And when I saw, Scott putting up the sign, I, of course, one moment I was joyful, but I also have to tell you, I was nervous. I'm thinking, coming this week, who's going to vandalize it? You know, because that's a symbol that, yeah, we're willing to break through the borders in other ways. So, just something to ponder.
So as we go on this week, folks, if you find yourself in the borderlands, remember that Jesus stands with you, and this church wants really badly to stand with you also. And if you, yeah?
Something else you need to tell. What else happened this week with you?
Oh, we just talked to a reporter.
Yeah, and?
They think this is a newsworthy story. Tonight I'm playing on something.
Are we putting you on the spot?
No, but it brings to bear what you're trying to say, that what is going on in this church is being recognized, and somebody else wants to tell our story on our behalf.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Thank you. You said it better than I could. Yeah. All right. We want to do that. And if you find yourself this week more often than not in the center, let's keep thinking about the ways we can interrupt this. What are the rainbow signs of our hearts? What are the things we hear that maybe disturb us? Let's pay attention to those things that make us uncomfortable and see if they're asking something of us. Yeah?
And by the way, to become the church that we are becoming has cost us some members over the years.
Yeah.
Because people don't like it when the status quo goes away. I always think back President Obama when he started office or when he was running and got into that practice because his pastor was too Afrocentric. Made the point, I don't think it was an original thought from him, he was quoting that the most segregated hour of the week is church on Sunday. Because everybody likes to hang with people like them. And I thank God for this group here. Because we're trying something different.
Amen. Friends, the work of reconciliation is the work of the gospel. Thanks be to God.
And I have told David personally, he is the most and honest fellow that I know in this church.
Yeah. So stereotypes that you have been taught maybe to believe about people like him, we're not true.
Can we sing the song?
Yeah!